Let me tell you, if you'd asked anyone in Paso Robles that morning how court was going to play out, they'd have told you it'd be just another day, just another mess swept under the rug, two smug cops strutting in, uniforms starched and shiny, thinking they'd be out by lunch with another problem buried. I mean, you could see it on Mark Rutledge's face as he nudged his partner Brian Colton at the courthouse doors, chewing that damn toothpick like it was a badge of honor, both of them cracking jokes, sure the system would have their backs like it always had. You know what I mean? The place already felt heavy by 8:15, that dry California heat making everyone a little edgy, but not these guys, not with two department reps trailing behind. They're just to look official, not to actually do anything. Inside, the bench is half full reporters, law students, folk from the community who'd seen this movie before and didn't expect a new ending. Then you got Javier Montez sitting at the front 22, kid from San Luis Obispo. Doesn't look like trouble, more like someone who should be cramming for midterms, not staring down two officers across a courtroom. His mom's behind him, clutching her purse like it's the only thing keeping her upright, and his public defender Lynn Tran is rifling through notes. Calm has ever seen enough of these to know when something stinks. The DEA opens with the usual nonsense about public trust, blah blah. Everyone's heard it before. Mark leans over to Brian. He's sandbagging, doesn't want this to blow up, and they both chuckle, convinced this is a pit stop on the way to lunch. Javier takes the stand, voice cracking once or twice, but he holds it together. He tells the story late shift at the gas station, pulled over for drifting, Rutledge yanking him out without warning, says they found weed in his car, but it's not his. He keeps his car spotless, drives Uber, he's got nothing to hide. They ask the usual questions, try to paint him as a troublemaker, but there's nothing there, and the room kind of settles, everyone's expecting the usual. Judge calls a recess, everybody goes home, no one's the wiser. Then Lynn stands up and asks for one more witness. Mark raises an eyebrow, not in the pretrial motion, but the judge allows it. That's when everything changes. The bailiff opens the door, and in walks this woman, black, early 50s, tall, gray suit, so sharp it doesn't wrinkle, hair pulled back, moves like she owns every room she's ever entered. She doesn't go straight to the witness stand. Instead, she pulls out a badge wallet, hands it to the bailiff. "My name is Danielle Freeman," she says, director of the Los Angeles Field Division of the DEA. And just like that, you could feel the air suck out of the courtroom. Mark and Brian's confidence wavers. Just a flicker, but enough. Because this isn't just about Javier anymore, and you can see the realization wash over them slow, creeping like a storm on the horizon. Lynn doesn't rush. She lets the moment breathe, then has Javier finish his story this time. You can feel the court actually listening. He goes over every detail, the headlights, the stop, being accused of swerving, missing dashcam footage, the humiliating search, the cuffs, calling his mom from jail. He says, "It wasn't mine. I swear to God it wasn't." And this time, no one dares laugh. The DA tries to rattle him. "Have you ever used marijuana?" "Once, 3 years ago at a party." "Did you know there was weed in your car?" "No, it's supposed to cast out, but all it does is make Javier look even more like a kid and over his head." Then comes the twist. Danielle takes the stand for real. Lynn asks why the DEA cares about a traffic stop in Paso Robles. Danielle says it didn't start with Javier, it was a pattern. Young Latino and black men, no records, all stopped, all searched, narcotics found, but never matching the driver's DNA. Anonymous tip, internal inquiry, surveillance, deleted dashcam footage, GPS logs showing the officers taking detours, a string of arrests, all the same playbook. Charges always dropped after review. It wasn't just Mark and Brian. It was a system that knew how to cover its tracks. Mark's jaw clenches. Brian starts bouncing his knee. The whole room is glued to Danielle as she lays it out. Testimony from 2 former officers, whistleblowers who left after reporting planted evidence. The DA tries to object. "You'll see the evidence when we present it to the grand jury." Danielle assures the judge arrest warrants are being prepared for both officers' obstruction, falsification, civil rights violations. Now the officers are panicking. You can see it, the bravado gone. Just whispers to their attorneys, "Say something, do something." But no one moves. Danielle isn't making a point. She's pulling the curtain back. She hands over a timeline, 11 incidents, all minority drivers, all with the same chain of events. None of the narcotics ever had fingerprints matching the defendant. The DEA labs noticed the pattern. That's what triggered the investigation. Then comes the kicker: an unregistered warehouse, cruisers on surveillance footage, bags of drugs, cash, unregistered weapons, all stored off the books for training. Brian finally cracks, jumps to his feet. This is crap. Where's the audio? Danielle pulls out a USB. We installed an audio sniffer in your cruiser after the second suspicious arrest. Recordings of them joking about planting evidence. How easy it is to keep kids scared. You hear it all. Mark just sits there, stone still. Brian sweats through his shirt, talking to himself, reality setting in. The judge orders an hour recess. The courtroom explodes in whispers, reporters running for the doors. In the break room, Mark and Brian are at each other's throats, blaming, accusing, unraveling. Back in court, Danielle presents GPS logs, a recurring set of locations, always matching the arrests, all defendants people of color. The judge asks the officers if they have anything to say. Their lawyers beg for more time, but Lynn shoots back. That'll just give them time to cover up more evidence. The DA is cornered, can't help them. Danielle speaks to the jury. Don't believe me, believe the data, the digital trails, the patterns. This took months, people risking their careers, whistleblowers stepping up because no one else would. She tells the truth. This isn't just about two bad apples. It's about a department that let them flourish, where internal affairs shares a coffee pot with the officers they're supposed to investigate. There's a final bombshell. A federal marshal steps in, hands a sealed envelope to the judge. Arrest warrants for Mark and Brian, signed minutes ago. The deputies cuff them right there in court. Mark stands tall, defiant. You think this ends with us? Danielle doesn't reply. She just watches, like she's seen this before. But everyone in that room knows this isn't over, not by a long shot. The next day, the judge reviews all the evidence and rules. Officers Rutledge and Colton breached civil and constitutional rights. Case referred for federal prosecution. Javier Montez is cleared, record sealed. His mom cries quietly. Javier just exhales, finally, peace. Danielle slips away, not giving interviews, not making it about her. She visits Javier's grandmother to thank her for raising a kid who wouldn't lie, then heads back to L.A., where a full federal investigation is set to roll out. It's not gavel slams or headlines. It's someone finally breathing easy after months of being crushed. Javier goes back to school. His mom sleeps through the night. Danielle tells her story to a class of law students. Silence, especially when it's comfortable, is dangerous. If you choose comfort over truth, don't ever call it justice. She knows the hardest part isn't catching the bad ones. It's what happens when the system tries to protect itself by pretending to change. If you're watching this and you've ever felt silenced, overlooked, afraid to speak up, don't let fear decide who you become. Justice isn't about being loud. It's about being consistent. So share your truth, speak up, and if you see something wrong, don't wait for someone else to fix it. Be the reason someone finally gets heard.